Hi folks, I'm the Bald Guy, and these are Bald Guy Basics. It is a wonderful and chilly morning here at the end of November, and I'm down in the shop, got a nice fire going in the fireplace upstairs, and I have to tell you, I love wood heat. Yes, I know that it's a mess. It is physically demanding, but there's no heat like wood heat, especially when you compare the comfort and the lack of expense. I know one year here, we have a heat pump for an electric heat pump for heat if I'm not running a fire. And when I first moved here, we had an ice storm that literally caked snow and ice on the outside of the unit, the heating unit. This thing ran solid and could not keep up. And I decided then, hadn't been here long and didn't have any firewood available, and I decided I'll never be caught like that again. So, if you're going to burn wood, there are a few things to have around. Now, let me turn around here. At the very least, you're going to need a pack of matches. If you've ever tried to start a fire with a stick match of any kind, you know, you've got 15, 20 seconds with these things before you better either throw it down or blow it out, because you're going to get a finger singed. So most of us have lighters. Lighters are great, except they run out of fuel. And, you know, this is not a lighter. Let's say this is a lighter. Usually the flame is coming out right where you're holding your thumb, and you're trying to put the flame down under a piece of wood. You're always going to get your thumb singed or burnt. So they can be a challenge. I have no idea of the brand of this, but this is a butane torch. It's a fancy lighter that actually, number one, it operates here. So it gets my thumb away from the flame that comes out here, and it has an adjustable flame that literally looks like a torch flame. These are refillable. So if you use fire in any way around the house, if you have a reason to ignite a fire and want to do it more conveniently, more quickly, and yes, more safely, I recommend a butane torch of some kind. To refill it, this is just a generic bottle of butane fuel. Butane Butano, it says. It's by Mag Torch. It's a universal fueling system. On the bottom of just about any of these, there's a lot of novelty lighters too. I used to have one that was, I don't know, it was nearly a foot long, and it looked like an old-fashioned double barrel shotgun, which was hilarious. I used to work in a sporting goods store, and that's where I picked that thing up. But they will all have a port on the bottom for refilling. Now, there is a little bit of a trick to it. First of all, you've got to have the right nozzle. And if you look inside here, if that's visible, you see there's a couple of holes punched out. One of them came punched out, but the other one was for the correct nozzle. And it's pretty easy to figure out. I don't know that there's that much difference in these. Maybe they're just multiple nozzles, but yeah, they do have a different circumference here on the end. So what you need to do when you refuel these, you refuel them upside down. But the first thing I'm going to do, there is gas inside the cylinder here, the containment cylinder, that will inhibit the amount of butane that I can put in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn this thing on. That allows some gas to escape the bottom. Now this had none in it. There's an adjustment here. So on the low end, that's almost invisible. On the high end, you can actually solder with these things, although the flame at that high intensity is not going to last that long. Thus the bottle. I've had this bottle, well, to be honest, I've had this bottle since 2015. I've told in some of my other videos, this toolbox here was my stepson's, who died working on a bulldozer. And this was in this toolbox. So I've been refilling butane lighters basically since 2015. Now, let me say, I don't use these every day. So it's not like if I were building a fire every day, fresh, and using this, I would have used it more quickly. However, the reason I don't build a fire every day, I keep a fire going so the fire doesn't go out. I don't have to build a fire, I just add fuel to it. But this has been one of the handiest things to light a fire quickly. And sometimes a match, frankly, just isn't hot enough, so you have to use, you want some kind of accelerant. Outside, I might use dry leaves or pine needles, or pine cones are a great way to start your fire. I actually collect those. I'll put them either in the wood stove or the fireplace and put my wood on top of them, stick this thing in, and have a fire quickly. You can find these on Amazon. I don't have a brand name to recommend to you. The first one that I had, and it's somewhere upstairs, the stepson had it, and he bought it off the Snap-on truck, so there's no telling what he gave for that thing. But it works greatly, and it has a bigger cylinder, so it will hold more butane, but it operates exactly the same way. I like this one because I can put it in my pocket, and it also has a lock button on the side. So over the weekend, it was Thanksgiving this last week, and we had the grandbabies over, and this is sitting right on the little end table next to the fireplace. Well, either I'm going to have to put it up, which means at my age I'm going to forget where I put it, or I just hit the little lock button. Can't be operated. So it's a great thing to have around the house. It's a great thing to have in your toolbox. You can check these out on Amazon. Just look up refillable butane torch. I'm the Bald Guy, and this is your tip for today.